Good evening, everyone. Get into the discussion. We'll talk about some stocks. Anything that's on your mind, ask me anything, part two. I got about 30 minutes that I can spend with you guys, maybe about 20, maybe 30. So anything that you guys want to ask, essentially, we'll get into the discussion. So today I was going over how essentially Virgin Galactic stock supposedly was supposed to plummet, but it pretty much stayed the same. Now I haven't checked the aftermarkets, so let me check into that very quickly, into the aftermarkets, and see how Virgin Galactic stock was doing, because supposedly Richard Branson sold a 300 million stake inside of Virgin Galactic, but he still has 46 million shares. So I mean, as far as he's concerned, is leveling up his bank account pretty much. So let's see, how did Virgin Galactic turn out? No, I mean, as far as I can tell, Virgin Galactic is still doing pretty well. Virgin Galactic is still doing pretty well. Let me send this out. Okay. So as we can tell here, family, Virgin Galactic is still doing pretty well. They virtually had no change. Now, this is the way that Virgin Galactic was today. So pre-market, they were at $24.92, and then they're ending at $25.35. They got up to $26, but again, Richard Branson sold a large stake in his shares. So, I mean, considering the stock is pretty much steady right now, it really didn't have any other fluctuations that I really saw that really made a difference in the stock price. Okay. I didn't see that at all. Let me see what I got going here. So I'm looking at current stocks right now, because this is one of the things I think that will be beneficial for you if you guys start to look at stocks Friday and also Sunday night. Saturday is pretty much you'll see cryptocurrencies moving, but you won't see too much of anything else moving, okay, as far as stocks, and let some rich guy come out and does something innovative. But other than that, this is the time to look at stocks. Pretty much when everybody's about to go to the club, go out and have fun, look at stocks about 15, 20 minutes. And then also on Sunday night, you'll see a lot of fluctuations throughout the day, okay? So again, this is part two. You guys can ask me any questions about stocks, investing, real estate. It could be, anything that's on your mind, basically. Okay, I'm willing here, and believe me, I have an answer. I have an answer for everything. That doesn't mean that you'll like it or that is right, but I do have an answer. So I'm just posting things to my Facebook and Twitter, so I know that everybody know that I'm here. So again, we can talk about stocks, Christianity, history, Democrats, politics, and also travel. So recently, my family and I just came back from the Dominican Republic, of course, on the resort. It was absolutely beautiful. Off the resort, the country itself is beautiful. You can see the beauty in the country, but it is a third world country, so the people there, unfortunately, are struggling. And believe it or not, I used to believe that when I saw Dominican people, that Dominican people were like Puerto Ricans, like as far as complexion, okay, but that's not the case. Dominicans are mostly darkly melanated people. So you always want to say, how has the eviction moratorium affected the housing market? Virtually right now, the eviction moratorium has not hurt the housing market. Right now, the real estate market is in a seller's market. I mean, homes are increasing exponentially in their sale value, okay? in their sale value. Just to give you a close and personal example, my brother told me, and within a year, his house raised $11,000. And to give you a more realistic view of how the housing market doing that really has nothing to do with the eviction moratorium, my home went over $100,000. It raised over $100,000 in 1 year, based upon the comps in that area, the comparables, so to speak. So there's a lot of people doing phenomenal things when it comes to selling homes. Another close example is 2 houses down. My neighbor moved back to Chicago. I have no idea why, but he bought his house for around 370, 380. And at the 5-year mark, his house was only worth around 430. In 1 year, he sold that same house for 550. Okay. He sold that house for 550. That's what I'm talking about. So his house raised $100,000 in 1 year. So don't forget, this is not the first eviction moratorium. This is more like the second or third eviction moratorium, because they kept extending it every time there was a stimulus payment. And don't forget, this is the 4th stimulus payment, but this is mostly to do with women and men who have kids. So yeah, absolutely. I know it's crazy, right? It's crazy. So again, people who are joining us in, this is my part 2 of Ask Me Anything. And again, I have topics up there, but you guys can ask anything, right? You know. But anyway, I was talking about Dominican Republic. And that's another thing always, Spring. I think about real estate internationally. Once you learn the laws, the guidelines, you can go into other countries, but you have to find a reputable real estate agent, okay? And you have to make sure you're doing things the right way. But you can go in a country like Dominican Republic, because guess what? All of the resorts that we were staying at, and not like we said, in multiple resorts, but the resort that we were staying at was owned by an American or Canadian. And I've traveled to all these Caribbean places. The resorts that we stay at are literally owned by all Westerners, literally, either Europe or America, or Canada. That's who they're all owned by. So there's a way to go out and own these land. And of course, they're investing millions of dollars to build these huge, beautiful resorts, but they're making billions of dollars a year. Okay. Because whether it be property tax, workers, food, all of it is exponentially cheap. We're talking about, this is to give you an example. If milk over here, take for instance, costs $3 a gallon, milk over there is probably like, $1 a gallon. That's not a great depiction, but what I'm saying is so cheap that you're saving in your 401k, you're saving in your Roth IRA, and take for instance, you have that 1 to 2 million that people are saying that you need to actually retire. You can go to these other countries and live like kings and queens. Now, me personally, if I was to live in another country, I would want the country to reflect my skin color. Now, some people don't care about that, and I totally understand. Whatever floats your boat. But I'm the type of person, I like to blend in, right? It's like me going to Ireland. Why would I go to Ireland to live? Majority of the population are non-melanated people. I don't blend in. I want to go somewhere where they're like, oh, he's rich because I'm a different, or that's the only way he'll be able to live here. Shoot, I'm putting on a dingy shirt, but I got a lot of money and I got a big old house with security. I'm just saying. It just depends on when you live. And then the one large place that's being more stable each and every day are the different countries in Africa. If that's one of the things you want to do. Now, we're definitely going to visit Africa. We've thrown out the idea that we may live in Africa if it fits us, if it suits us. But, we currently don't know. Okay. What else you got? Oh, yeah. See, we think about land domestically, while people in America and Europe, they think about land internationally. See, that's why I tell people, learn how to navigate the globe. A lot of us haven't been outside of our neighborhood, outside of our community, outside of our cities, outside of our states. And so your perspective of life is like you live in a box, or like you're traveling through some sort of conundrum that you don't see your left and right limits. But when you travel around the world, and you can start off with Mexico, you can start off with Canada, right? We're still on the North American continent. And then you can travel to the Caribbean. You can travel to London and Paris. And in Paris, I mean, for the most part, the palace, the crown jewels, was that it? Was that in London? Or was that the Versailles Palace? I think that was, I forgot. The thing was at the Versailles Palace, so the crown jewels of somebody. I don't remember. But the palace and everything else was beautiful. But Paris was dirty. And people talking about, I think people trump things up just because it's Paris. Oh, Paris. No, the food in Paris was trash. Okay, the only thing that was delicious in Paris was bread. They cook bread fresh every day. You know how in America there's a church and liquor store on every corner? Or maybe that's just my community. Never mind. But in Paris, there's a fresh bakery on every corner. It's like clockwork. People come home from work and they're just walking around with fresh bread. I'm like, wow. And you get it right out the oven. I can't explain it, out of the brick oven. So traveling, I believe, is very, very important for anyone to do. It's very important. It will change the stereotypes that you have for other people and give you a much larger perspective about life in general. Okay. So if you guys are not traveling, then you must travel, but you have to get your money right. Okay. You have to get your money right, increase your money. And again, I tell people I usually take my tax return and buy a vacation. Okay. I usually take my tax return. I don't go and buy rims. I don't go buy stereo systems. I don't go and buy TVs. I buy something to me that's very tangible, that increases my knowledge base about the world that I'm living in. Okay. About the world that I'm living in. That's why you see all these billionaires going to space, because they already been to every country. But you guys have heard about space and you never been to a different country before. You get what I'm trying to say? Some people I know have not been outside their state. They have not been outside their state. Now, granted, there's some areas where there's 2 or 3 states. They haven't been outside that area. So it's very important that you guys travel. And for you guys that's joining, this is the time to ask me about any topic, anything. It could be financial. It could be history. It could be religion, anything. What's going on, D General? Nice to see you. Okay. So we're talking about traveling. Okay. Because my family and I, we love traveling. We love the different experiences. We love interacting with different people. And we like to ask them questions to really figure out what's going on with their social economic structure, the economy, all sorts of things like, hey, how much bread here? Just random questions, and what you soon to find out is that even though these people don't speak out against their countries like Americans do, like we speak out against imperialism, we speak out against racism, even though they don't speak out, they very, very privately speak ill of their countries. They're like, yeah, man, our government is corrupt, but they won't say that publicly. They won't say that, on social media, because what I find out is, even though that the country may be a democracy, those people will come and get them. Yeah. Yeah. Did y'all hear about China, which is a communist country? Different story. I know. A billionaire was talking bad about China. They locked him up. They said, you ain't doing that here. No, this is not America. You are not free. They froze his assets and they locked him up. So listen, when you guys go and travel, you have to maneuver very strategically. You can't don't go to other countries like people come here. See, people come here from China, India, the Caribbean, Africa, and speak out against America and speak out against Americans in some sense. Don't do that. Don't go to their countries and do that. See, they probably just was waiting to come over here so they can be free and say what the hell they want to say. Don't go over there to their countries and be an American. That's key. Listen to this, family. I want you to put your mind on a different plateau. Don't go to other countries and be American. That means don't be a pompous ass. Meaning when you go to these other countries, try to learn some of the language. Try to expect different things because you will receive different things. Don't expect the norms, the social norms that we have, for them to be their social norms. Total different culture, total different tradition, total different language. So don't go over there being an American. Just go over there, respect the culture, ask questions. Um, don't just be entitled because you're an American, because they will put you in your place very, very quickly. Because remember, they outnumber you. Always remember that. When you're in somebody else's country, respect that country, because simply they outnumber you. Because if they wanted you to disappear, you will disappear. Okay. Always Spring says people don't like Americans, it seems. The general books you recommend for learn stock options. Okay. Let me show you this one book I read. It was quite some time ago. Let me see if I can find it. But The Smart Investor, that was a good book. Oh, Intelligent Investor. That was a good book. Let me pop up this other book for you. I'm going on Amazon very, very quickly. Now, this book right here is probably, if I can recall, a good book for you to go look at. And it's called Investing a Quick Start Guide. Okay. And they also have Day Trading and Real Estate. These are very, very easy books. And it does cover option trading, if I can recall. Okay. Let's see here. I believe it calls option trading. Okay, they're not showing me nothing, family. But I believe this is the book that I read that showed me a little bit about option trading. Okay. See right here, it teaches you about stocks, bonds, treasuries, ETFs, mutual funds, index, REITs. Okay. But it did cover option trading, if I can recall. So again, this book, Investing Quick Start Guide. Now, and I've been told by a couple of people, and I'm actually thinking about it. I'm actually considering writing a book. But believe it or not, family, it won't just be a regular financial book. It won't be like, invest, put money in, multiply your money out. No, it won't be nothing like that. I think that my book would be like a philosophizing, investing, quirky, weird, strange information strategizing book. Like, it would be all of that. Like, it would just be me in a book, and it'd probably be my only book, because I know that's going to take me a long time to do. Okay. So that's the book, Investing Quick Start Guide. And the author for that book is Ted D. Snow. I see we have some people in the room. Make sure you have any questions. I probably got about 5 to 10 more minutes here. Me and my wife, we have to go to this little function. So I don't have enough time, but I wanted to come back on and make sure that I didn't cut anybody off earlier when I did this part 1. So again, family, if you guys have any questions, please list them. So we covered travel. We covered some stocks. So I'm going to move on right to history. Okay. History is a very important thing for us to understand and learn, because you ever heard the terminology that if you don't know history, if you don't know your history, then you're damned to repeat it. And Tariq Nasheed, right? I'm a follower of his. We're not related. He doesn't know me, but I like what he's doing. He's trying to build a hidden history museum in LA, and I donated a little bit of money, and I think he only has like maybe 4 or 5 days left. So if you type in Hidden History Museum in Google search, it will pop up an Indiegogo page. And I encourage all you guys to go give some money. I mean, 5, 10, 15, all of it would matter to build an actual museum that's going to teach our history. Let me tell you something. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and we have an African-American history museum in D.C. That is not Black history, family. Do you know that one of the murals inside of the museum are Jordans? I want you to really ponder on that. Like, think about you reading a history book and somebody say, oh, Black American culture, Black American history is wearing Jordans, like tennis shoes, not inventions, not starting businesses, not scientific breakthroughs, not the first to do this and the first to do that. None of the cool stuff. Hey, Jerome and them was wearing Jordans. What? And this is in the museum. Now, I'm pretty sure Jordan probably donated some money because they have a mural after, Free World said he just donated. Let me put that up here. Free World said he just donated $100 to Tariq Nasheed's Hidden History Museum. Well, thank you, brother. I believe, see, here's the thing, family. We spend a lot of our money on bull crap, okay? And this is something that's for our people. He's going to, in that museum, he's going to teach us about philosophers and intellectuals and people we probably never heard of. Like, I'll ask this, some random melanated person, say, hey, you ever heard of Dr. John Henry Clark? They're like, who is that? You ever heard of Francis Cress Wilson? Who is that? You ever heard about Dr. Claude Anderson? Have you heard of, he's still alive. Have you heard of him? Have you heard of Dick Gregory? That he almost be the first black president back in, was it 70s or something? Like, you would ask people these questions. They have no clue of these people. Okay. But they will know Fendi, Lucci, Versace, Balenciaga, Jordan. They know all this other stuff that means nothing to nobody. Knowing all the name brands and all that don't do nothing for you. You have to learn your history. And it's always great to go to a source and or building to teach you your history. That's my take on it. Neil Doe said, Black history is such a mystery. Who are Black people before slavery? That's easy. Okay. I don't know if that was an open-ended question or a vague question, but we were the first people. So in the first people, we were the first explorers. We're the one who developed the first irrigation system. We're the one who brought spices to India, but we think that India came up with spices. So there's a lot of hidden history, and I love the name. There's a lot of hidden history that we don't even know. Did you know that there were pyramids in Mexico? There was also pyramids in North America that was covered up with grass. And then when they did the outline, they did some sort of technological scan of it and realized there was pyramids. And then if you read some of the history books, the indigenous people of this land, they said they were dark people. They were melanated because at one point in time, when all of the land masses were joined together, I believe they call it Pangea. And as the land masses started to break up, don't forget, we're the first people. People stayed on their lands, I guess, after this land, like hundreds, thousands of years, drifted off. So when the first enslaved Africans who went through chattel slavery, transatlantic slave trade, and came to America, Brazil, or South America, that they say, hey, there were already indigenous people here. So if you notice right now, there's been kind of a paradigm shift, and you start hearing a lot of melanated people say, no, I'm native to this land. So essentially, what they're trying to say is melanated people are Native Americans, right? And I believe that. See, what we picture as the red people, the Mongolian / Alaskan sort of look, that has all been changed throughout the history books because that's where the term $5 Indian come from. Because the first form of Native Americans are essentially melanated people that originated when the total landmass was together, Africa, right? Or Kemet, however you want to name this. But see, anytime you try to manipulate people out of something they already own, this is what you do. You come in, you take it by force because we understand that power is taken, not given. And then you just change the history books because the history books are what? His story. So I can write it however I want. And so we said, who was it again? Neil Doe said, who were we before slavery? Oh, we were historians because we made history. We came up with the first language. We came up with the first Sanskrit. We don't want the first writing. So there's a lot of first when you're the first people. So, I mean, that's who we were, nation builders. We as Moors went over to Europe. We taught them how to clean themselves. We taught them about soap, taught them about shea butter. We gave them essentially everything we have because we're just a loving people. Now, just like any other people, and this is from Hitler, when he took the Jews and he put them in ghettos, it was like an experiment. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to strip them of everything they have. and we're gonna put them in small living quarters, and we're gonna stack them on top of each other and put them beside each other. Jews became very, very violent against Jews because that's not how they ever lived. Neither did we, okay, when we originated either in this land or Africa. So when they started putting us in projects and ghettos, what started to occur? We start to kill one another. Now you hear this whole narrative, black on black crime. Well, it's about proximity. You kill who you live next to, right? Do you ever hear the term white on white crime, yellow on yellow crime, brown on brown crime? But it occurs, right? Because more times than not, you're killing people in your community. You're not going out and say, you know what? I'm gonna go out to the brown community and just start, killing people. That doesn't happen, right? Unless it's some sort of gang war, which really happens. Because usually gangs, unless you're in California, usually gangs deal with other gangs that look like them because that's their competition. This is very easy, family. And this is why you should know your history, okay? Let's see here. Spring says there's a black museum in Philly, but it looks outdated and unserious on the outside. Meanwhile, it's a Jewish museum on the main street a few blocks away and it's state of the art of the outside. But we understand that Jews as a collaborative group, they're the richest people in America. So their museum is going to look phenomenal. There was where were we? Dallas. There was a Jewish museum in Dallas and it looks state of the art. There's a Jewish museum in DC. That's state of the art. Okay. But here's the thing. Their people value their history. Can I say that? Their people value their history. We don't value our history. You can talk to majority melanated people, and they don't know anything about their history. They don't know anything about their history. So I think that's very, very important that you guys understand that. They don't know their history. See, they don't know their history, so we have to understand those things. So in order for us to know our history, not only do we have to read, but it's good to go inside of museums to see murals and statues. It really helps your imagination. It builds on it. So again, I'm not going to compare us to another group, but other groups do value their history more so than we, because a lot of our history has been stolen. A lot of our history has been stripped. Okay. And what else we got? I'm about done here. I'm going to quickly run through these other topics I listed. I know I'm yeah. So let's talk about Democrats very, very quickly. Okay. I'm apolitical. So don't think I'm a Republican or independent or Democrat. I'm just apolitical. I don't care about the political structure in America because it has really done nothing for melanated people. So why should I even care? And I think that most of us, this is my opinion very quickly, that most of us, we shouldn't tie ourselves to any political party. Because the question would be, what has it done for you? And if you say, oh, well, I got Obamacare. You did? How's it doing? What did it do for your family? Now, how does it help us as a people? Because last time I checked, a lot of us are still horrible without health care. I'm just saying, I really want you guys to look at this in a very vivid and detailed way to say what has assigning and voting one way, we either be Democrat, Republican, or independent. What has it done for you? I just want to say it probably has done nothing for you at all. It has done nothing for our people. So instead they start talking about empowerment for our people, when they start talking about reparations for our people, I'll listen. But until they start putting on paper, that's when I'll vote. And I think that's very important because again, don't make the ill argument that, oh, our ancestors, they died for us to vote. No, your ancestors died for you to have the right to vote, not that you should. So don't make that an obligation like you should. And some people believe that it's stupid that you will not vote because they believe, oh, you hold some sort of power position. Yeah, you do. That is why mostly the Democrats come out and pander to melanated people for your vote because they needed to win. That's why they talk to you. If they didn't need you, they wouldn't talk to you because guess what? Are they talking to you now? Are the Democrats talking to you? No, but they'll see you in 4 years, right? They'll see you in 4 years. They'll come pick you up Take you out to lunch. Hey, buddy, yeah, you gonna vote for the Democrat? Yeah, man. Yeah, I love the Democrat. What Democrat do for you, man? Shoot, man, they give me inspiration, nothing. They give me motivation, nothing. Man, shoot. That's what happens. So that's why I'm telling you guys you should be apolitical. Okay. Percy says, here, Percy, you wouldn't like when I'm angry. Brother Ross, I'm gonna talk, but I have some beautiful and mature women on your lives. Any advice to brothers? Because evidently you're doing something right. Sorry for being off topic. No, you're great. Is that a statement or a question? Free Worcester, do I live in DeSoto, Texas? No, I live in the suburbs of Dallas. Okay. Let's see here. Free Worcester, I vote Republican now. Anybody that's against immigration. Okay. But see, Free World, let me just mention this very quickly. You voting or you belonging to Republicans, it does nothing for our people. It does nothing. Because see, you're taking one topic out of all the issues. See, immigration is not our problem. Now, you may make the argument that immigration is taking jobs and blah, blah, blah. They're the buffer class of, European hybrids, yada, yada. I got it. But here's the thing. If we as a nation, as a community of people, if we can get 25% of melanated people together and we say, you know what? We're not going to vote until you do X, Y, and Z. Stop gentrification. See, you have to have an agenda. You have to have a plan. Not just, give us money. No. We want our reparations. We want our land. We want a better community projects. We want you to start pumping money inside of the Black community like you do these other communities. We want a whole slew of things that's been stolen from us. See, we're not asking. We're not begging. We want you to give us what you owe. That's it. That's it. Okay? 14, 15 trillion dollars that our ancestors would have built for us, wiped away. So that's why I say, I think as a group of people, we should be apolitical and start holding feet to fire. And the way you hold feet to fire is that you hold your vote. I'm not saying don't vote. Hold your vote. Now, some people don't like that terminology, but that's the way I think about it. Okay? Okay, Percy says a question. Let me go back then, Percy. Now, what type of advice are you looking for, Percy? I guess that's my question. And family, I literally have 3 minutes. Surprised my wife didn't give me the evil eye yet. So, what'd she say, honey? She said I'm gonna get left. So let me hurry up. I mean, you have some beautiful women on your lives. What are you doing? Because evidently you're doing something right. I still don't know your question. What am I doing? What are you doing? Because evidently you're doing something right. You saw my wife? That was my wife. I think she was asleep when she married me. So she woke up now, man. She's like, what'd I do? But anyway, family, I talked about, so my last topic is Christianity. I'm about to run through this. Christianity. Wow. You guys know I go hard on religion. I'm just going to say ask questions. Do not take just believe. Do not take just have faith. See, there's a powerful creator in our universe. Now, I believe that there's a God, but I don't know what religion he belongs to. I don't know if he's Christian, Hindu, Muslim. I don't know. But here's the thing. He gave us a brain, and he knows that we will doubt things that we won't see, but he gave us eyes. He's going to doubt things that we can't smell, but he gave us a nose. We will doubt things that we can't taste, but he gave us a mouth. So we have to think about things. If we are created in the image and likeness of him, then why don't he show himself? Why is there a lot of questions in your mind simply because you don't see him, right? And some people say, oh, you got to have faith. You got to fervently pray. You got to get on your knees. No. That's not the way it works. Because if we are the image and likeness of that person, just like if you had a son or daughter, they want to see their father. They want to see their mother. Okay. So this goes way beyond faith, because anything in life, you want to see it. You want to touch it. You want to feel it. You want to taste it. And somebody say, yeah, man, I just cashed out you 10 grand. What you going to do? Shit. Ain't no 10 grand in here. You want to make sure it's real. So I'm not telling you don't believe in your religion or your faith or your spirituality, blah, 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 blah. I'm just simply telling you to ask questions and do not take just have faith as an answer. Yeah, just have faith. Yeah, man. Oh, just have faith. Well, why did God, if God is omnipotent, all powerful, all knowing, why did God destroy the earth by a flood? If he should have already known that the people were going to worship false god. Wait a minute. Why did he do that if he knew he was going to do that? Oh, it's all in God's will. It's all part of the plan. What? You're saying to yourself, it makes no sense. This is my point. This is why I'm saying, do what you do. Just ask questions and don't take faith as the be all. Like, oh yeah, just have faith. Oh, okay. You're gonna walk around blind, stupid, and dumb like a zombie, and that's where they want you at. And oh, by the way, put a little money in this collection plate, please. And you can retain it on your taxes. Nah, I'm good, bro. But that's all the time I have for today, folks. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. This is Financial Literacy 101. And again, family, I want you guys to learn money and be inspired.